Hey y'all. I hope you guys can hear me because I'm out here walking on the busy streets, walking my dog yet again, giving him glory. I decided to wear my wig outside today, not for anything beyond the fact that I realized something and I wanted to share this thought before I forgot it. But I had an appointment this morning at the hospital, and you know how I dress when I go to the hospital is usually pretty understated. I like to wear loose fitting things, and usually I don't wear jeans or anything like that because I don't want to have to take that off depending on the testing that I have to do that day. Today, of course, I had to do a CT scan, which is a little bit earlier. But how I showed up there in that space was different than how I went out after, because today I spent time with one of my best friends from high school. And what I realized is, or the thought that I had, was I didn't mind going into a space, showing up without my wig on, because I actually put my wig in my bag this morning, knowing that I would take it out later and put it on. Because as I said, I want to go to these tests feeling very comfortable, as comfortable as possible actually, so that I can get what needs to be done, and I don't have to worry about taking additional accessories off. And my concern with wearing the wig was, I might have to take it off because the metal clips on the inside, and whatever I wore today was just flexible, and I wanted to be flexible with that thought. So I brought my wig in my bag, knowing that I would put it on later. And what I realized is I don't mind showing up in spaces where it is expected of me to look a certain way. When you're at the hospital, I guess the expectation is that you're unwell for whatever reason. So I don't mind showing up in those spaces without a wig on. I don't mind just wearing a hat and looking the part. But in society, the expectation is that you look well, that you don't have problems, that you don't have things that you're dealing with. And I realized that I was not necessarily putting on my wig for myself, but putting on my wig to comfort other people and appease the expectation of wellness, or with at least their eyes, because they're only seeing me for a blip of a second and they probably won't remember me after that moment. But I realized I don't do this necessarily for me, but to comfort other people, because the look of wellness is more important in some spaces, so that it doesn't cultivate more questions as to what is going on. And there are some people that shave their heads and look and enjoy having that look, but for me, I associate wellness with looking the part, having the hair, even if my hair is like a pinkish purple hue, I'm comfortable with presenting myself in this manner in those public spaces, as opposed to showing up with my bald head. And then I realized I may be doing it with the intent of not wanting to be asked any questions and to look a particular role or part in these spaces. But it really just speaks to my discomfort in showing up in these spaces in a manner that I feel like is unlike myself. So I thought that was very interesting, Eden. And I wanted to share that thought because I want to know, are we showing up in certain spaces to play a certain role or look a certain way to fit into a false ideology that we're placing on ourselves, these false, unrealistic expectations that we perceive others are placing on us? And how are we showing up in these spaces? And when I'm home, when I'm at the hospital, I feel very comfortable showing up with my bald head. I actually love touching my bald head and rubbing it all the time. But in these public spaces where cultural norms to some extent still dictate what the expectations are and beauty standards and whatnot. I'm conforming still, and I don't like that. So I hope that my random thought makes you think about where you're showing up in these spaces, potentially inauthentically, to appease some ideal that you think you must fit into in order to be deemed acceptable or beautiful or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. That's it, food for thought. Anyways, I hope you have a blessed day. I sure am taking in a nice little walk with this brisk little weather and pneumonia in my lungs apparently. But ain't my way cute though? Don't I just look amazing? Showing up in these spaces all kinds of fine. Bald head full of hair. Don't care, I'm still gorgeous. And so are you. Have a blessed day. Keep smiling.